Hey yogis, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. It's Sarah Hutchinson at yogawisdomandwellness.com. And I've got something that I know is going to interest you if you're a yogi. And that something is everyday Ayurveda for the holiday season. How to keep your yoga lifestyle so that you're experiencing balance and bliss in the shortest days of the year and the most culturally hectic time. You know, I feel pretty balanced and blissed out, even through the holidays now these days, but it wasn't always that way. In fact, I used to call the holidays the folly days. This is back in the day when I was raising my three kids, working full time as a critical care nurse, and I had not yet been given the gift of yoga and Ayurveda. So I was struggling, and the holidays were overwhelming. I was exhausted, I was stressed, I was grumpy, I always got sick. I always ended up spending too much money and just feeling completely out of alignment with how I thought life should be. During this lovely winter time of the year, I was a basket case. But now I call them the holy days. And here's how I got there. Came to yoga on the mat, loved the poses, and as a registered nurse, I was absolutely fascinated by the level of wellness that was available to me through yoga. So I got involved in Ayurveda. Now I'm an Ayurvedic yoga specialist, and my specialty is what I call everyday Ayurveda, practical tips that will help you align your life to the greater forces so that you can experience sattva guna. Remembering the gunas are these three really mental doshas, these three energies that either call us to action, leave us in inertia, or allow us to live with clarity and balance. So, how are we going to be clear and balanced through the holidays? I'll tell you what, let's use the model of the koshas that the yogis have developed. It's such a brilliant model. These are the 5 sheaths that surround us. And if you don't already know about the koshas, don't worry about it. This will still make a lot of sense to you. And you'll learn about the koshas if you stick with us, because we use it a lot at Yoga, Wisdom, and Wellness. So, quick review. According to Ayurveda, you and I, are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We're stardust. We're a reflection of nature. As out there, so in here. So I'm looking out my window right now, 6 o'clock in the evening at my home here in Colorado, and it's pitch black, and it's about 17 degrees out there. It's wintertime. Nature's dormant. The leaves are off the trees. The grass is brown. Many of the animals have flown away, migrated. It's dormancy time. It's the time when big nature is called dormancy, and so is our nature. And yet, here come the holidays with all those stressors and expenses. For whatever reason, I don't have time to go into it now, our culture goes crazy during this dormancy time, when we should be at home, as Winnie the Pooh says, counting our honey pots, as the fishermen say, mending our nets. Instead, the culture says, get out and shop, go to a million parties, overextend yourself. Well, that's not what we want to do. We want to turn them into holy days. And let me give you a few practical suggestions about how to do that. Let's take a journey through the koshas. First stop, the first sheath, Annamaya kosha. Anna means food. This is the food body and the physical body. It's what we show up in. Let me give you 2 practical tips from everyday Ayurveda to keep your Annamaya kosha in the right place for balance and bliss during the holidays. The first thing I want to do is invite you to sleep in. If you possibly can, this is the time of year of dormancy, and it's totally fine to stay in bed a little bit later, or even better, go to bed a little bit earlier. How about that? How about adding 30 to 60 minutes of sleep onto your schedule this time of the year so that you can be a little more dormant and regenerate? So get to bed a little earlier or stay in bed a little later, whatever works for your schedule. But do get your rest. You have permission to do that. Classical Ayurveda tip. The second thing I'm going to encourage you to do is continue with or start the practice of Abhyanga. It's simply self-massage with oil. It's literally lovingly applying warm oil to your body on a daily basis in order to stay moist and smooth. Remembering that winter aggravates Vata dosha. And if you don't know about the doshas, don't worry about it. You're going to learn plenty about that with us. Just know that Vata dosha has the tendency to be dry and rough and mobile. So sit yourself down in a nice warm spot in your house. Get a nice bottle of sesame oil or another fragrant oil of your choice. Warm it up like a baby bottle and rub it on your body from head to toe, with special attention to where there's a lot of lymph. That would be in the neck, in the armpits, in the groins, and in the belly. Now, if you don't have time for oil massage every day, here's an idea. Take a bottle of oil with you in the shower. In fact, I always have a bottle of oil in the shower. It's like a little 4-ounce squeeze bottle with the top. And I use it instead of soap. I'm not kidding you. I get in the shower, I let that warm water just run over my body. I get my pores opened and my muscles relaxed, and then I pick up that bottle of oil and I start to massage my body. And it just feels so great. The oil is getting absorbed into the open pores, and the warm water is carrying away any excess. So my skin is getting smooth and luscious, and I'm being contained and moisturized. I'm balancing out the tendency to get rough and dry this time of the year. So do your oil massage one way or the other. And here's a practical everyday Ayurveda tip for the shower. If you are oiling in the shower, you want to make sure it doesn't get slippery and your plumbing doesn't get clogged. So take a little bottle of really high quality dish soap in there, and when you're done, just squirt some on the floor of the shower. I swish it around with my feet, and then put a squirt of it in the drain, and that will prevent the oil from backing up your plumbing. I also have a towel that is just a little bit oily. I just use it when I've done oil massage in the shower. It's no big deal, and every few months I throw it out and get a new one. So that's a way that you can balance Vata dosha, Annamaya kosha taken care of. Let's continue on now and talk about Prana Maya kosha. And no, it's not a clothing line. Prana is the breath body. So let's talk about how we can use the breath to stay balanced and blissful in the darkness of the short days of the year and the hecticness of the holiday season. First tip I want to give you is simply notice your breath. Just notice how you're breathing in any given moment. You know, this happened to me today. I had to do some things that I didn't know how to do, and it made me kind of anxious, and I just kind of started drawing up, and kind of out of my chair and into my head. And the next thing I knew, I was experiencing anxiety. So as a yogi, I was like, what's up with that? So I paused, I closed my eyes. It can be helpful to do that. And I noticed my breath was super shallow. It was just in the top of my chest. And I was in my head. So I simply took a few moments to notice my breath, to begin to breathe more deeply, more smoothly, to even my inhale and my exhale, and then eventually to lengthen my exhalation. And I did this by using mental counting. So you might count quietly, mentally, to a count of 4 or 6, evening the inhale and the exhale. Once the breath is even and smooth, simply add a 2 count to the exhaled breath. So if you're inhaling 4, just exhale 6. And do that for long enough, and it can take less than a minute, that you feel yourself shifting from fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system, into rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system, because that's where we want to be, in that more grounded place. This can be super happy, super helpful with the relatives around, or when things just get overwhelming. Notice the breath and lengthen the exhalation. It won't take long, and you'll be back to that balanced, grounded place. I don't want to talk about the breath without always encouraging you to practice alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. And again, if you don't know it, don't worry about it. We'll be teaching it on another video. But for those of you who do know alternate nostril breathing, do it at least 5 minutes a day. Honestly, it has such amazing benefits. Balancing your brain, balancing your hormonal system, opening up this main energetic channel so you can be more vital, have more prana in your system. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath, 5 minutes a day. Again, if you don't know what that is, just hang in there because we'll explain it in another video. Okay, so we have the physical body, the food body, the breath body. Now we're going to go to Manomaya Kosha. And that is the mental sheath. That's the sheath of the mind. And I bet you know what I'm going to recommend for that. How do you cultivate your mind? My favorite yoga practice, meditation. Now, please don't be intimidated. If you're not meditating yet, it's totally fine. We can help you learn how. There are many qualified teachers out there that can help you. First, let me address the people who are meditating and just encourage you to keep up your practice. Keep it up. And to get that extra sleep, consider going to bed a half an hour earlier and then getting up early enough that you can do your practice first thing in the morning. If not, practice in the evening. Get yourself soothed before bed. But do your meditation practice. Cultivate a clear, calm, and tranquil mind. And that'll get you through the holidays. No matter what gets thrown at you, the meditative mind is the grounded and stable mind. If you're not a meditator yet, contact us. We can help you out. Possibly find a quality recording. I recommend Rod Stryker at Para Yoga, Meditations for Peace. You can throw those onto your iPod, use it right off a CD player, and be led through guided meditations that will cultivate stability and tranquility in your mind during this holiday season. Okay, so we're getting deep in now. We've come physical, breath, mind. The next kosha, the next sheath, is Vijnanamaya Kosha. And I have a thing here that I'm going to look down and read because I really like what they have to say about it. So Vijnana means intellect or knowledge, and I think of it as wisdom. It's the faculty that discriminates. It's the subtle body of the higher mind, including understanding, wisdom, and intuition. So Vijnanamaya Kosha, understanding, wisdom, and intuition. It's like an integrated part of us. And this is where discernment comes from. And we really want to cultivate Vijnanamaya Kosha because we want to have great discernment this time of the year so we can make good decisions about our schedules, about what kind of foods we're going to eat or not eat, about how much is enough. We really want to cultivate Vijnanamaya Kosha. So how are we going to do that? Let me give you an everyday Ayurveda tip about your asana practice. Practice some standing poses. They require a lot of integration, and they will support Vijnanamaya Kosha. Keep up your meditation practice, be mindful of your food intake, and be mindful of the breath. And all of these things will support that higher knowing. The yogis call it D-H-I, and it will help you make really good decisions to stay in a sattvic state of mind and lifestyle during the busyness of the season. Okay, finally, now we're getting down to it. The ever-coveted Ananda Maya Kosha. This is the bliss body, and who doesn't want to live in the bliss body? In fact, I'm calling my courses Balance and Bliss because I want you to have that experience. I want you to understand this sattvic state that we can live in. It's balanced, it's blissful, it's clear. So a really practical, everyday Ayurveda tip for cultivating the bliss body during the holidays is to take advantage of the beauty that the holidays present to us. The beauty of the season. It could be snowfall. It could be just that beautiful sunset, that orange western sky with those bare branches against it. Stop and notice the beauty of the season. The other really blissful thing we have access to all the time, and especially during this celebration of the birth of an enlightened being, you know, that's what Christmas is if you're doing the Judeo-Christian thing, is the birth of an enlightened being. And there's all kinds of incredible music that goes along with that. In all traditions, you can find devotional music. It could be chanting. It could be one of my favorites at the holidays, which is Messiah. It just puts me into my bliss body just like that. It drives my kids crazy. Mom, turn it off. And meanwhile, I'm singing and moving around the house, just completely blissed out by the vibration of this music. So I'm going to encourage you to lean into the beauty of the season, and specifically to lean into the musical traditions that are practiced in a state of reverence, and this will cultivate the bliss body. So that's your practical tip for Ananda Maya Kosha. So that's it. That's a quick tour through the koshas and just pulling down a few everyday Ayurveda yoga lifestyle tips to help you navigate the holiday season and stay in that yogic frame of mind, and turn the folly days into the holy days, where you can hang out in a place of reverence, a place of deep self-care, a place of deep connection from your conscious ability to live a yoga lifestyle. So I'm going to be teaching more about this. There are 2 free webinars coming up very soon that you can tune into, no cost to you. You'll see the dates and more information on this page where this video is. I'm also going to be offering a short 4-week virtual course to get us all through the holidays with consciousness and practical tips. I'm calling it Balance and Bliss Everyday Tips for the Holidays, something like that. I can't even fully remember the title, but you get the idea of it from listening to what I've been saying to you for the last 15 minutes. We'll be offering that in a few days, so stay tuned, come to the webinars. There's more ahead of you, and I promise to give you things that you can implement in your real life right away that will create deeper balance, a deeper state of clarity and joy in your everyday life, no matter what. When we uplevel ourselves and uplevel our families and our communities, we uplevel the world. So if you want to make the world a better place, cultivate your inner world. Show up with more balance and bliss, and it'll be reflected. Thanks for stopping by. There's more information on this page. Namaste.